If your PC is stuttering mid-game, your frames are inconsistent, or Windows just feels like it's fighting you instead of helping you, this is the video you need. We're going to go through a full PC optimization today: BIOS, Windows, drivers, network, all of it. And by the end, your PC is going to feel like a completely different machine. Now, before you skip thinking this is just another generic YouTube guide, let me tell you exactly why you should listen to me. My name is Zilly. I run one of the top PC optimization services on the internet at silly.net. We have personally worked on over 10,000 PCs, and that number is going up every day. Our clients include some of the biggest names in competitive gaming. We've worked with Bugha, the Fortnite World Champion, Tayson, as well as Call of Duty legend Parasite. And on the streaming side, Cypher PK, Oatly, and Typical Gamer have all trusted us with their setups. These are people whose careers depend on their PC being dialed in. Milliseconds matter, frames matter, input lag matters, and they come to us. So yeah, if you want the same process we run for pros, stick around, let's get right into it. All right, step one before we touch Windows and before we run anything, before we install a single driver, we'll be starting in the BIOS. I see people skip this constantly and then wonder why their RAM isn't running at the speed they paid for, or why certain tweaks aren't sticking. 9 times out of 10, it starts here. The first thing we need to do is get your BIOS up to date. Open up your browser and head to your motherboard's manufacturer website. If you don't know what motherboard you have, press Windows plus R, type msinfo32, hit enter, and look for baseboard product. Click on it, press Ctrl C on your keyboard to copy it, paste it into your browser, and add the word support after it, and it'll bring up the support page as the first result. Then you're gonna download the latest stable BIOS version from the support page. Don't grab a beta unless you want weird problems. If you're on ASUS, ASRock, or MSI, we can update the BIOS without a USB drive. So go to disk management, rank your drive, which is gonna be right here, by 100 megabytes. And on the unallocated space, make a simple volume and ensure the file system is set to FAT32 and just label it BIOS. If you're on a Gigabyte or any other motherboard, extract the file onto a FAT32 formatted USB drive. Now, restart your PC and spam the BIOS key on boot. That's usually going to be delete, F2, or F10, depending on your motherboard. Once you're inside the BIOS, you're going to be looking for something called a flash utility. ASUS calls it Easy Flash, MSI calls it M Flash, Gigabyte has Q Flash. So for me, it's going to be under Tool and ASUS Easy Flash. Navigate to the drive where you made BIOS partition or the USB drive that you have, and select the file for the BIOS update. Then just let it do its thing after you press yes a whole bunch. And I cannot stress this enough, do not cut the power during a BIOS flash, and be patient as it will restart a couple times during the process. All right, BIOS is updated. If you're on ASUS, just press F1 to get right into BIOS. If you're on any other motherboard, it's gonna go directly to your Windows. Just restart your computer and spam the BIOS key again. Now, let's go through the settings we actually care about. First, it's going to be XMP, DOCP, or Expo. Go into your memory settings and enable XMP or DOCP if you're on Intel, and Expo or DOCP if you're on AMD. This is what makes your RAM run at the speed you paid for, and if this is off right now, your 6,000 megahertz is going to be running at maybe 4,800 megahertz, and that's a massive performance difference, especially for your 1% lows, and it's just a one-click fix. Quick note, if you're on AMD, then make sure you're not going above 6,000 megahertz, as the motherboard will automatically put you in a mode where the CPU's memory controller speed will be dropped by half. If you have a RAM kit like mine that's at 7,200, set it manually to 6,000. Second, it's going to be resizable bar support. Also, the setting requires above 4G decoding. Make sure these two are enabled. It gives your CPU access to all of your GPU's VRAM at once instead of in tiny chunks. And it can genuinely increase your FPS depending on the game. There's basically no reason to have this off. Third, it's going to be Precision Boost Overdrive on AMD. For ASUS, just set it to enhancement. For all other motherboards, you could pretty much set it to advanced, and then PBO limit set to motherboard. And for all AMD, we can set the CPU boost clock override to enabled positive and max CPU boost clock override to 200. If you're on Intel, then ensure multi-core enhancement or similar is enabled. And for the people who are on the latest Intel chipset, which is the Core Ultra series, then enable Intel 200S boost. Fourth is going to be secure boot. Make sure this is turned on. By default, it should be on. And I know some of you have been told to turn this off. Don't. Anti-cheat softwares in games like Fortnite and Valorant depend on it, so just leave it alone. Fifth is going to be any power saving modes under your PCIe settings. Disable anything that is related to power gating, clock gating, or SPM. And for ASUS, it's an onboard devices configuration and it's these top two settings. Six is disabling any integrated graphics if your CPU has it. Most of us around here use the dedicated graphics. And for those of you who have the HDMI or DisplayPort plugged into your motherboard, now's the time to switch that over to your actual graphics card. Then just save and exit and let it boot into Windows. If you're a long-time subscriber or have been watching for a very long time, you might notice that I didn't go that in-depth into BIOS. The reason for that is just because I'm making this guide for everyone and I'm trying to make it as easy as possible to follow. So if you want the full in-depth guide, go look around my YouTube channel for the YouTube guides for AMD or Intel and follow those. All right, we're in Windows, and before we do literally anything else, we need to sort out your account setup. Because if you're signed to Windows 11 with a Microsoft account, you have a problem and you might not even know it. Here's what happens. Your Microsoft account is tied to their authentication servers, so anytime your login token decides to expire at the wrong moment, anytime there's a server hiccup on their end, you can get locked out of your own machine. Your PIN stops working, you reboot, and suddenly Windows is telling you it can't verify your PIN. I've seen this happen to clients, it's not hypothetical. And on top of that, a Microsoft account syncs your settings, activity, and behavioral data across devices. We're about to run a playbook that cleans all of that stuff up. So the last thing we want is for a Microsoft account to silently re-enable stuff in the background. So we're switching to a local account first, and this is not optional. Go to settings, then accounts, click your info, and you should see an option that says sign in with a local account instead. Click that and Windows will walk you through creating a username and password. If you don't want a password like me, you can just leave it blank. Now, if you don't see that option, you might need to verify your account or do something to validate your Microsoft account prior to switching to a local account. Once you've made the switch, it'll automatically sign you out and tell you to input a password if you put one. All right, so now it's time for the main event. This is the Zilly playbook built specifically for this video, and I want to be upfront about this. We're not going to go in deep into every single thing it does because honestly, that will be its own separate video. What I will tell you is the goal: remove the AI garbage Windows ships with, reduce your background process count, and fix privacy settings, all without breaking things like the Microsoft Store or your game's anti-cheat. It's surgical. We're not just nuking everything and hoping for the best. Stuff that matters stays, and stuff that costs you performance without giving you anything in return is going to be gone. First, go to ameliorated.io. It's going to take you to this page, and we're going to download AME Beta. And this is the tool that runs the playbook. It's the trusted platform that the whole AME product is built on. It's been around for years and it's legit. Download the latest version and extract it, and just double click it. It'll automatically run as an administrator. Next, you're going to need the playbook itself. Join my Discord server and head over to the Tweaks channel and download the XLite playbook file. It'll be a .apbx file, which is the AME Beta playbook format. Download it and save it somewhere easy to find, like your desktop. Now, with AME Beta open, you'll see an option to load a playbook. Click that and navigate to wherever you save the XLite playbook file and select it. For me, it's on desktop. You should see now it's loaded with my logo in white and a brief description of what it is. AME Beta has some steps that we have to do prior to applying the playbook, like disabling Windows Defender. So we have to manually disable these 4 toggles in Windows Security, then proceed. So click Run Action, click Open Windows Security, and turn off real-time protection, cloud delivered protection, automatic sample submission, and tamper protection. Then close out of that. Then press Next. It'll tell you it needs to do something to prepare the system. Just click Run Action on that and let it do its thing. It's going to automatically restart. Now, when it's done, it's going to restart automatically. Just come back once you're sitting at your desktop. Welcome back. Your system just went through a big change. Here's what we do from this point. The first thing that you should notice is a folder on your desktop called XLite Extras. Open that up and everything that you need for the next steps is in there, organized and ready to go. So inside the XLite Extras folder, you'll find everything you need for a GPU driver install. So go to NVIDIA drivers or AMD drivers if that's your GPU. Run NV clean install from that folder. And this is a tool to install debootloader drivers as well as do some tweaks to the driver itself to disable its NVIDIA telemetry. So press Next. Press Next again. Now you want to check the first here. Click Disable Ancel, show expert tweaks, disable HTTP right here, and then disable driver telemetry and check these 2 options at the bottom. press next, press install, and just wait for it to download. After the driver is installed, you can close out of AME clean install, and in the X-Lite folder, go to the NVIDIA drivers, open up NVIDIA Profile Inspector, and drag the xlite.nib file into it, and it will apply profile with the best NVIDIA settings. So press OK on that, press apply changes, close out of that. Now open up NVIDIA control panel, and in adjust image settings with preview, make sure use the advanced image 3D settings is selected. Then go to manage 3D settings and make sure everything looks configured just like so. And if not, just reapply the xlite.nib file with NVIDIA Profile Inspector. For AMD, go to the AMD Radeon drivers folder and install the latest drivers first. And I do have a separate full guide for AMD that's linked in the folder. The only portion that is outdated in that guide is the Radeon Software Slimmer portion. So if you watch it, please skip that portion. Quick note, some of the latest Radeon drivers have weird lagging issues with the AMD control panel. If you get this, then go back and install a previous driver from December 2025. And if you opt out of watching my full guide for AMD, there is a screenshot of AMD control panel settings that you can follow that will do the basics. Now for all GPUs, open an MSI mode utility and make sure you run it as admin and ensure that your GPU is checked, and then press apply on the top and close out of that. Now in the update drivers folder, there is Snappy Driver Installer. This is what we use to make sure your network drivers are the latest update, because outdated network adapter drivers are responsible for more latency spikes and packet loss. People spend hours blaming their internet provider when it could just be a driver. So run SDIO, press accept, click download indexes, then just pretty much let it scan your PC. Then we're going to update our network adapter driver. If you don't have any network adapter driver showing up here or any Wi-Fi drivers, that means they're already updated, so you can pretty much skip on that. That's all you really need from SDIO. Don't just install everything it finds. Target the network drivers specifically and move on. Optionally, you can install the Bluetooth drivers from here if you do not have Bluetooth working. There's a tweak in the X-Lite folders that adjusts how Windows groups its SVC host processes. A lot of people in the optimization community talk about this one, so I want to be completely straight with you about what it actually does, because most people oversell it. What it does is it groups your SVC host process together so services do not have their own SVC host, which lowers your overall process count and task manager. Visually, your system looks leaner, but what it does not do is improve your FPS, and there is no measurable frame rate gain, no latency improvement, and because you're combining services into shared instances, your RAM efficiency actually takes a minor hit. Bundled processes share overhead less efficiently than you'd think. So it's a lower process count on paper, but it's not free. If you want it for the cleaner looking task manager, it's just a one-click apply, and it's SVC host, split threshold in KB in X-Lite folder. Totally optional. Just don't expect it to do anything for your actual performance numbers. I'd rather be honest with you about that than have you chasing a fake FPS boost. Inside the X-Lite folders, you'll find a folder called Clean Up. Open that up, and we're gonna pretty much just run the disk cleaner software right here. Click clean up system files, check everything here, then just double click run disk clean. And this will automatically just remove all the junk Windows accumulates over time that just sits there taking up space. It's quick, it's safe, and it's worth doing after a fresh playbook run to start with a completely clean state. And one of the last folders in the X-Lite extras folder is the overclock controller folder. This one's optional, but if you're on a PS4 controller, PS5, or certain modded Xbox controllers, this is worth your time. Inside, you'll find HID USB-F. This is the tool that lets you overclock your controller's USB polling rate. By default, most controllers report input at 125 Hz or 250 Hz, meaning Windows is only checking for new input 125 times per second. HID USB-F will let you push that significantly higher, which fixes up your input field and reduces the delay between you pressing a button and that input actually registering. So to apply it, just click all on the top left, find your controller, click install service, click filter on device, and change default to 1000. Then press restart, and it'll automatically restart your controller and apply the overclock. Now, the important part, after you apply the overclocking, don't just assume it worked. Also inside this folder is a polling rate tester. So run it, move your controller around, and confirm the polling rate is actually hitting the number you set. If it's not, go back into HID USB-F and reapply, or see if your controller even works with this tool. Some controllers actually do not even apply this. You want to verify it actually worked. Now, network adapter tweaks. This one gets skipped constantly and it shouldn't. We're going to go over into your actual network adapter properties and clean up a few things that Windows leaves enabled by default that you just don't need. Inside your Xlite extras folder, you'll see a shortcut called network connections. Go ahead and open that. This takes you straight to the network connections panel and control panel. So double click your active network adapter, which is my Ethernet. Click properties, and you're going to see a list of items of checkboxes. Most of these you can uncheck. The only two things you want to leave checked are Internet Protocol version 4, that's IPv4, and QoS packet scheduler. Everything else, uncheck it. None of that is doing anything useful for a gaming setup, and there's no reason to leave it enabled. Now, once you've unchecked everything except those two, hit OK, then go back to properties and click configure. This opens up your actual network adapter properties directly from this UI. Go to power management tab, and here's what you're changing. Just uncheck everything here, or power management tab, just disable those. Now, in advance, you want to look also for energy efficient Ethernet and any power saving options. This could be power saving mode and ultra low power mode. Now, once you found those, just press OK and close out of the properties windows, and that's your network adapter sorted. Lastly, we'll go over autorun64.exe. Press agree on this, and this is just pretty much showing you what runs every time you boot up your computer. So if we go to log on, you can see that this Brave installer is running. I'm going to go ahead and run as an administrator so I can actually uncheck this. We don't need these three running. And if you go to schedule tasks, you see the tasks that are being ran as soon as you turn on your computer. So everything that's yellow is stuff that actually doesn't exist anymore. So you can pretty much click on it and click the delete button on your keyboard to delete it, or you can just right click and delete it manually. And here that you can pretty much leave except these Brave software updates. If you don't care about Brave updating automatically or your favorite browser updating automatically, you can pretty much disable these or uncheck them. Then in services, as you can see, there's a SUSE update check. This is for my motherboard's software. I actually don't even have this installed, so I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this. Same thing with the Brave stuff. And game input service, this lets stuff work with services in Xbox. Pretty much uncheck this if you don't use this. Then you can pretty much close out of autorun64. And at this point, your system is going to be clean. Everything running is intentional, and you built it yourself knowing exactly what's on there, and that's the goal. So that's the full process. BIOS is updated and configured right. Local account is set up so Windows can't lock you out. Playbook is applied. GPU clean installed with the right settings dialed in. Network drivers updated, and adapter is tweaked properly. So there's no AI garbage running in the background, no random Microsoft processes eating up your resources, no mystery stuff you didn't put there. Now, if you want this done for you, if you'd rather have our team handle the full optimization remotely, or if you want a custom Windows install built from the ground up for your specific hardware, go to xilly.net. That's xilly.net. Link is in the description. We offer both an optimization service similar to what you just watched and a full hardware tune where we overclock all the components in your system for max performance. Same methodology we ran for Booga, Tayson, Parasite, and every other client we've worked with. If these tweaks worked for you, let me know in the comments. If something went wrong, drop a comment explaining exactly what steps happened on so we can help you sort it out. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribing genuinely helps us make more of it. Thank you for following this guide and enjoy the performance you've unlocked.